You people speak of doing good to the world. Is the world such a small thing? And who are you, pray, to do good to the world? First realize God, see Him by means of spiritual discipline. If He imparts power, then you can do good to others, otherwise not. A Brahma devotee. Then, sir, must we give up our activities until we realize God? Master. No. Why should you? You must engage in such activities as contemplation, singing His praises, and other daily devotions. Brahman. But what about our worldly duties? Duties associated with our earning money and so on? Master. Yes, you can perform them too, but only as much as you need for your livelihood. At the same time, you must pray to God in solitude, with tears in your eyes, that you may be able to perform those duties in an unselfish manner. You should say to Him, O God, make my worldly duties fewer and fewer. Otherwise, O Lord, I find that I forget Thee when I am involved in too many activities. I may think I am doing unselfish work, but it turns out to be selfish. People who carry to excess the giving of alms or the distributing of food among the poor fall victims to the desire of acquiring name and fame. Shambhu Malik once talked about establishing hospitals, dispensaries and schools, making roads, digging public reservoirs and so forth. I said to him, don't go out of your way to look for such works. Undertake only those works that present themselves to you and are of pressing necessity, and those also in a spirit of detachment. It is not good to become involved in many activities. That makes one forget God. Coming to the Kalighat temple, some, perhaps, spend their whole time in giving alms to the poor. They have no time to see the mother in the inner shrine. Laughter. First of all, manage somehow to see the image of the Divine Mother, even by pushing through the crowd. Then you may or may not give alms as you wish. You may give to the poor to your heart's content if you feel that way. Work is only a means to the realization of God. Therefore I said to Shambhu, suppose God appears before you, then will you ask Him to build hospitals and dispensaries for you? Laughter. A lover of God never says that. He will rather say, O Lord, give me a place at Thy lotus feet. Keep me always in Thy company. Give me sincere and pure love for Thee. Karma Yoga is very hard indeed. In the Kali Yuga, it is extremely difficult to perform the rites enjoined in the scriptures. Nowadays, man's life is centered on food alone. He cannot perform many scriptural rites. Suppose a man is laid up with fever. If you attempt a slow cure with the old-fashioned indigenous remedies, before long his life may be snuffed out. He can't stand much delay. Nowadays, the drastic D-Gupta mixture is appropriate. D-Gupta mixture is a patent fever medicine containing a strong dose of quinine. In the Kali Yuga, the best way is Bhakti Yoga, the path of devotion, singing the praises of the Lord and prayer. The path of devotion alone is the religion for this age. To the Brahma devotees, yours also is the path of devotion. Blessed you are indeed that you chant the name of Hari and sing the Divine Mother's glories. I like your attitude. You don't call the world a dream like the non-dualists. You are not Brahmagyanis like them. You are Bhaktas, lovers of God. That you speak of Him as a person is also good. You are devotees. You will certainly realize Him if you call on Him with sincerity and earnestness. The boat cast anchor at Kayala Ghat and the passengers prepared to disembark. On coming outside, they noticed that the full moon was up. The trees, the buildings, and the boats on the Ganges were bathed in its mellow light. A carriage was hailed for the master, and Yam and a few devotees got in with him. The master asked for Keshav. Presently, The latter arrived and inquired about the arrangements made for the master's return to Dakshineswar. Then he bowed low and took leave of Sri Ramakrishna. The carriage drove through the European quarter of the city. The master enjoyed the sight of the beautiful mansions on both sides of the well-lighted streets. Suddenly he said, "I am thirsty. What's to be done?" Nandalal, Keshav's nephew, stopped the carriage before the India Club and went upstairs to get some water. The master inquired whether the glass had been well washed. On being assured that it has been, he drank the water. As the carriage went along, the master put his head out of the window and looked like childlike enjoyment at the people, the vehicles, the horses and the streets, all flooded with moonlight. Now and then he heard European ladies singing at the piano. He was in a very happy mood. The carriage arrived at the house of Suresh Mitra, who was a great devotee of the master, and whom he addressed affectionately as Surendra. He was not at home. The members of the household opened a room on the ground floor for the master and his party. The cab fare was to be paid. Surendra would have taken care of it had he been there. The master said to a devotee, "Why don't you ask the ladies to pay the fare? They certainly know that their master visits us at Dakshineswar. I am not a stranger to them or love." Narendra, who lived in that quarter of the city, was sent for. In the meantime, Sri Ramakrishna and the devotees were invited to the drawing room upstairs. The floor of the room was covered with a carpet and a white sheet. A few cushions were lying about. On the wall hung an oil painting especially painted for Surendra, in which Sri Ramakrishna was pointing out to Keshav the harmony of Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism and other religions. On seeing the picture, Keshav had once said, "Blessed is the man who conceived the idea." Sri Ramakrishna was talking joyously with the devotees when Narendra arrived. This made the master doubly happy. He said to his young disciple, "We had a boat trip with Keshav today. Vijay and many other Brahma devotees were there." Pointing to Yam, "Ask him what I said to Keshav and Vijay about the mother and daughter observing the religious fast on Tuesdays, each on her own account, though the welfare of the one meant the welfare of the other. I also said to Keshav that troublemakers like Jatila and Kutila were necessary to lend zest to the play." To Yam, "Isn't that so?" Yam, "Yes, sir, quite so." It was late. Surendra had not yet returned. The master had to leave for the temple garden, and a cab was brought for him. Yam and Narendra saluted him and took their leave. Sri Ramakrishna's carriage started for Dakshineswar through the moonlit streets. So this is the passage, very beautifully written by Mahendranath Gupta, who was called simply Yam. With that pseudo name he wrote this entire gospel. The 5th chapter has come to completion here. So in the beginning we find that Sri Ramakrishna is asking the devotees what should be their focus in life. If you have taken up devotional path as your for your spiritual life, then should you not pay attention to what you have taken for as a goal? So he says, he gives an example. In Dakshineswar, many people go to see Kali temple. It is very good to go to a temple and then giving alms to the beggars there. Lots of beggars sit in a line in the Dakshineswar temple. Almost in all the temples in India, we have seen. Even in European countries, I have seen. In Rome, I have seen near the Vatican, beggars are standing there or sitting there, asking for alms, something they ask for. So if you have money, you pay money, otherwise you give something else. So the beggars are there. Some people go to temples to see Mother Kali and also to give something to poor. Very good. So Sri Ramakrishna says, some people go and start giving alms from the beginning, and the whole time they spent in giving alms only. But they have not gone to the Garbhagriha and seen the deity. Kali is there, and without seeing the Divine Mother, they are doing this. Now giving alms is not a bad thing. It's a very good thing. To giving something to the poor, whether whatever you can give it. It's a very good thing. But your purpose is to go to Dakshineshwar, to Mother Kali. So he says, why don't you go, even in the crowd, if it is crowded, go there and have her darshan, bow down to her, and then start your work. So he says, in Bhakti Yoga, the purpose should not be diverted. Once you realize Mother Kali as you see in the outside, when you see her inside, then what happens? You start seeing her that divine power, outside also. At that time there is no difference. As Swamiji could not find any difference between outside and inside, you see. In New York, in the railway station, he was standing and putting his hands on the train. He was looking out below. And below is a street. So Josephine was standing next to him. And she asked, oh Swamiji, you are enjoying seeing the different types of dresses that people are wearing here. In those days, American ladies were not like today's dress. They had, puffed up the collars, etc. So many types of dresses were there. So she thought he is enjoying the different types of dresses, etc. So she asked, are you enjoying the different types, varieties of dresses people are wearing? Swamiji turned to her and his face was so serious. And he looked at her, what are you talking? I am seeing the Chaitanya in different forms, making a merry here. People are joyous. Chaitanya I am seeing, not the bodies, he said. So once you see that God inside, then what happens? You can see the God outside also. So that's what Sri Ramakrishna is hinting here, that first you go to temple means, first you do the pranam to mother and then you go to outside do the duties also. So he says, Bhakti Yoga is for Kali Yuga. In this Kali Yuga, Bhakti Yoga should be practiced. Karma Yoga is very hard indeed, he says. Though some people raise the question, in Swami Vivekananda's teachings we find Karma Yoga gets more importance than Bhakti Yoga. But in Sri Ramakrishna's teachings, Bhakti Yoga gets more importance than Karma Yoga. Is there not controversy? Is there not different from what Master taught and what the disciple taught? This becomes a very big debate also. We have seen a lot of debates on this. And so there is no differences in this. What Sri Ramakrishna says, if you are a Bhakti Yogi, that means you are practicing the yoga of Bhakti, the devotional path, then you have got certain way of living. If you are a Karma Yogi, you have got certain way of living. Karma Yoga also Sri Ramakrishna says in another place that it can be practiced very well. Only problem with the Karma Yoga is that you may get finally the desire for name and form. So you start doing a lot of public activities. In public activities what happens? The name and form desire, slowly it comes. You do not even know that it has come into your mind and it has caught you. So that danger is there. Once that name and form, the name and fame, the desire comes in the mind, then the adhogati starts, then you start going down. So Sri Ramakrishna wants that. So he says Karma Yoga is good, but say you should not get attached to the name and form. I may think I am doing unselfish work. You may think like that. But it turns out to be selfish. People who carry to excess or the distributing of food among the poor, etc., fall victims to the desire of acquiring name and fame. So I have seen some people coming and telling us, Swamiji, in this year Jagadhatri Puja in Ranchi, Jagadhatri Puja is a very big event. 20,000 people come on the day, one day, and they have khichdi to the ashram to see the Jagadhatri Puja. It's a massive event, and 20,000 people are to be fed khichdi. So it's quite an expenditure, is there. One person will come and say, Maharaj, I will sponsor the expenditure for the khichdi. Okay, we also accept, okay, it's all right, because we have to accept donations. I said, okay, there's only one small request. I said, what is that? In the At the time of evening Arati, when so many people will be there, you just announce that I have sponsored this. I said, I am so sorry, I cannot announce the names of individual donors like that. That is not possible. Because we think that you are donating for the mother's service. And mother is coming in 20,000 forms. And she is coming and going to eat. You can offer to the deity in the form of a clay image. But recently I went to the Sujan's Durga Puja. I saw beautiful Durga image was there. Lakshmi, Saraswati and Ganesha and Parvati, Ganesha and Murugan were there. And it's so nice to see that. And you go and bow down there and you enjoy the devotional atmosphere there, etc. Yes. But then, where is she? Is she only in the image? No. Another 400 people have come for the puja. And she is in all these beings. And when all of them are fed, that means she is fed. You can feed her in the image. Image also you can feed. You can sit there and do the Nivedita. Okay, that is perfectly all right. That is the puja part. But then actual puja is done where? Outside. So when you sit before the deity and look at the deity, oh mother, you are here in this and you must come and take your seat in the heart. And after getting a seat in the heart, you must see her everywhere. So this is what, so the name and form, the desire should not be coming. Without that, if you give unselfishly your service, that is the best service. Actually, Krishna says in Gita, what is Karma Yoga? The first thing is, I am not the doer. That is the first principle of Karma Yoga. The moment you think that I am the doer, then you are not doing Karma Yoga. You are doing an activity that will give you name and fame definitely, and you will be, your society status also will improve. Okay, all those things will happen to you, but you are not spiritually progressing. That is sure. So, Sambhu Malli was talking about establishing, a hospital, dispensary, schools, etc. So Sri Ramakrishna quipped to him, if God comes before you, will you ask for hospitals and dispensaries? And even if you make hospitals and dispensaries, how long is it going to stay? Time is going to eat away everything. And that's why you cannot say that. So there are many hospitals which started and gone also. So new hospitals are coming up. And is it possible to satisfy the needs of the society fully at any time? Have we got successful? We have got successful to some extent only, not the whole thing. The entire land has got no wants, like that you cannot find them. It is very impossible to satisfy. So, when God comes to you, what you should ask? Now, many people who are devotees who are reading this book, and Sri Ramakrishna gives an instruction what you should pray or how you should pray. Most of us do not know to pray. What we pray, we generally pray, keep us very safe and keep our children good. Like that we pray like that. What more we can pray to God? Sri Ramakrishna gives a beautiful thing. You should say to him, you means the devotees. What we should say? Oh God, make my worldly duties fewer and fewer. Otherwise, oh Lord, I find that I forget thee when I am involved in too many activities. So another danger of Karma Yoga is you forget God. Too many activities you are doing. Today you are going here, there, everywhere. And then with all the activities, you forget God. I remember one incident that happened in Chaitanya Deva's life. Chaitanya Deva was a great saint. And he is considered as an avatar of Purusha. And he went to Puri. And in Puri, everywhere he is telling the Harinam, Sankirtan. He is doing Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. The Maha Mantra, which Vaishnavas consider as Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. That is a Maha Mantra. That mantra is making everyone to chant without respecting of, irrespective of caste, creed, etc. And he heard that a little away from the village, one man is suffering from leprosy. Leprosy is a dangerous disease, It is, if you touch it, then you may catch. So people are afraid. So he is put at the corner of the village. And he is there. But he is a Hari Bhakt. And he is only chanting the name of Hari there. And Chaitanya Dev was going through that place and nobody informed him. There is one leprosy patient is there like that. He heard somebody shouting, Hari, 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 Hari's name is there. So naturally Chaitanya Dev is attracted. So he went there. And with him all the people who were following him, they also went. And he saw him. The man was full of leprosy. Leprosy means all your limbs are gone, diseased. So they are not in full form. So the fingers are all gone. Even maggots have come in that, and maggots are eating the wounds. And he's simply telling the name of Hari. And he was very happy. So Chaitanya Dev saw him, and since he was overwhelmed at his scenery, he just went near him, and people stopped him. He's a leprosy patient. Don't go near him. Looked at them. What? What are you talking? He's taking the name of Hari. He is the purest person. Come what may. And he went and he embraced him. When he got up and he embraced him, at that time one miracle happened. It has been seen by many people in Puri, and it's all noted in his Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is there. When he embraced that leprosy patient, the leprosy completely went away. The disease was cured, and he became a beautiful, handsome young man. And he stood there. He looked at his body. His hands had become very normal. And he's so a good complexion. And he looked at himself and said, what? My body has changed. The leprosy is gone. By that mere touch of the saint, he just embraced him and he got his disease cured. Then he started weeping, crying aloud. Chaitanya asked him, hey devotee, you are Hari's devotee, and why are you weeping now? Your disease is gone. You must be happy. And he said, oh sir, I am not weeping for the disease going, or neither I am happy for that. Why I am weeping is because you removed the disease from my body. So you wanted the disease to be with you. He said, yes. So why? Because with this disease, I could remember Hari long. All the time I could remember. You have given me a handsome body. Now my mind will go for the enjoyment of the body. I am afraid. So I don't want this handsome body. Please put me back. Then Chaitanya said, no, you won't go back. You have done Hari's name so much, and I assure you, I bless you, your mind will not get distracted. So he blessed that devotee and went away. So there is a danger. And you know, many of the devotees who worship God and who are so staunch devotees, and they suffer many things physically and also with the other matters. So the physical suffering comes to devotee. People ask, I am devotee from childhood onwards to Sri Ramakrishna, why I am getting a cancer? Now the cancer has come to you to think of Sri Ramakrishna more only. The sufferings means what? The sufferings comes to you so that your mind can be kept on the God. If the suffering is not there, very doubtful that your mind can be put on God. It will be still enjoyment looking only. It will be centered on enjoyments only. So the sufferings comes to us, there is a benefit in suffering. That's what I am trying to tell. Not that you go and get the diseases yourself. But if the disease comes and if anybody suffers, that is one of the tool you should understand. As a tool you must use it so that our devotion to Lord can be furthered, can be improved. So the suffering also has got a great lesson for us. So here Sri Ramakrishna explained to him, you are all Brahma devotees, you say. In the Kali Yuga, the best way is Bhakti Yoga, the path of devotion. You see, old-fashioned scriptural rites you can perform. In Karma Yoga, what happens? You have to do a lot of activities, including scriptural activities. Say for instance, Navaratri. Navaratri, 9 nights, one has to fast. You know, when I went to South Africa, I found the people there very, very conservative. And they said, we are fasting. In India itself, I have not heard that 9 nights people are fasting. But then, there I found the people are so particular. So, no, Navaratri is there, they are completely fasting. And among the South Indian Tamils group, the entire Puratasi month, you know, this September-October month called Puratasi, that entire Puratasi month, they fast. How?
Entire month?
Yes, entire month. That is from sunrise to sunset. They will fast. and after sunset only they will eat, but they will completely abstain from Amish, that is non-veg food. Non-veg food is completely out. So 1 month there is no non-veg food. So those who are fond of non-veg food, what they do, they wait for that. And when the Purotasi month is over, they are so happy. Or the month is ended, so tomorrow we can have our food, like that they say. So, and they say fasting. Fasting means that they don't take non-veg food. That is a fasting for them. So, like that, people are like. So, you have lot of scriptural injections. Because the scriptures say, you should fast for this month, they fast. Now, in this Kali Yuga, Sri Ramakrishna is raising a question. Is it possible to follow all the scriptural injunctions that are there? It is not possible. Why it is not possible? That also a reason is giving. He says, in the Kali Yuga, it is extremely difficult to perform the rites enjoined in the scriptures. Nowadays, man's life is centered on food. Think of that. Even as monks, when we are here, we are thinking of food. Every day one lady has to come and give us the food. Think of that. Food is a very big thing. And without food, can we stay in this Kali Yuga? No, at least one time one must eat something. So when the mind is centered around the food and to maintain the body and to maintain the family, naturally that type of scriptural injunctions cannot be followed in full. So you can take 1 or 2 items and you can follow as per your temperament, but not the entire thing. So it is very good to follow some of the things. And he says, and he compares this with the D-Gupta mixture. In Ramakrishna's time, one D-Gupta mixture came out, and immediately it will bring down the fever, like our paracetamol nowadays. So if you get paracetamol, the fever comes down. So like that, there was a mixture. And he said, in the old time, in the kashaya, etc., you make and give, and 2 weeks you have to wait till the fever comes down. You cannot do. Immediately you go to a pharmacy, purchase D-mixture and give it to your child, and the fever comes down. So like that, in Kali Yuga, Bhakti Yoga is a D-mixture. So readily it available. So take the name of God, and he says, yours the path of devotion. Then what in the devotional path, what all I should do? Chant the name of Hari. So Hari means is an example. So any God that you like, chant the name of Hari. And then he says, sing the glories of Divine Mother. What a beautifully he says. Every day we sing. I think some devotees here I found they are chanting Lalita Sahasranam every day. It's the glories of Divine Mother. Sri Sri Chandi, it's a wonderful book. In eastern part of India, you will find many people follow Chandi every day they read. I have seen one of our Swamis in Ranchi when I was there. Our Maharaj, who was in charge of our dairy farm, every day he used to chant Chandi. And it's 13 chapters are there. All the chapters he would read it. So about 2.5 hours it takes when you fast chanting. So he has taken it as his spiritual discipline. So if you take it as a spiritual discipline, every day morning you have taught the children, and the children get up in the morning and they, after taking bath, immediately they go to the shrine and then bow down. These are the things you teach. And once you take up that type of discipline in your life, then it's very good. So he says, people do like that and chant the name of the God. I like your attitude. You don't call the world a dream like the non-dualists. You see, as we know with the philosophy, we have 3 types of philosophy. So we are discussing on that day about the Vedas. What is Vedas? So in the Vedas also, you see, the 3 types of philosophies are taken out from the Vedas. One is called Advaita, another is Vishishtadvaita, another is Dvaita. So 3 types of philosophies are there in the Indian philosophy. So when the Advaita is called non-dualism, that means Advaita. Dvaita means comes from 2. Advaita means not 2. There is no duality. So God is one and God alone is. So there is no duality other than God. This world that you see opposite to God is a dream. It is not actually living. It's not true. It is not reality. So the Advaitins will speak like this, the world is unreal. So they say if anybody is suffering, they will say he is having his karma. So his karma phala has come on him. He is suffering. Why should I go and help him? After all, the world is a dream. इस दुनिया त्रिकाल में नहीं है. In Hindi they used to say त्रिकाल में नहीं, because it was never in the past, never in the present day, and tomorrow also the world is not going to be. It's only a dream, like that they say. But what the bhaktas say, bhaktas follow Vishishta Advaita and Dvaita. They say, they don't say the world as a dream. They say the world has come up because the God only has become the world. So in Sri Sri Chandi it says the Devi, Durga has become the world. She has become all. So when she is everything and everything is God, so how can you deny the world as a dream, as an unreal? So naturally Swami Vivekananda says, that's what he was taught by Sri Ramakrishna, that Mother Kali is everywhere, in every being. So you must start serving them. So when Sri Ramakrishna was singing and some Vaishnava song was being sung at that time Narayan was a small boy and he was sitting there in the audience and they were all chanting and singing, etc. So one word comes there that he says that and that exact Bengali word I forget now because I am not in touch with Bengali language, so I am forgetting many of the passages. So the song goes like that. In that one meaning, the meaning comes is that you can think of God, and while thinking of God, you must think of God as present everywhere. Okay, now when you worship God as present everywhere, that means is not God present everywhere? Does not that mean that you have to do puja to them, to all the people here? How you will do puja? So Sri Ramakrishna says, seva. That is the word he said. He substitutes the word to seva. And he says, seva to human beings. So after hearing that, Narayan comes out and tells his friends, look, if I get chance in the future, I will announce this to the entire world, the seva mantra that I got today. So that's why Vivekananda started the seva activities for the people. So the seva has to be done. So he says, you are all lovers of God and you will certainly realize Him. You don't call the world as a dream. Think that world is real. When you think that is real, when a person is suffering, won't you go and help him? So that is what he says. And you find in Ramakrishna's life also that his life, certain places you see how he suffers for others. And he has got the oneness with all the beings. Once he was sitting in Dakshineswar and he is looking at the other shore of the Ganges. Ganges river flows in Dakshineswar. He is sitting at the bank and is looking at the other bank. Other bank, there was this boatman. Boatmen were there. And one boatman, particularly Sri Ramakrishna's eyes were focused on him. He was looking at him. The other boatman was talking with him and they started fighting. So the other fellow came and beat him in his back. That other boatman who was sitting there. And Sri Ramakrishna's focus was on the other man. Suddenly, he started shouting as if somebody has beaten on his back. Then Hriday was there. Said, Mama, Mama, what has happened? Why are you shouting? Because nobody was there near. Only Hriday was there. But then Sri Ramakrishna said, no, somebody is beating me. Beating you? No, I am still sitting here. Nobody has come near you. He said, look at that. Then he saw that boatman was being beaten. What happened here was, Swami Gambhirananji used to explain this incident so beautifully. He said that when he looked at that boatman, Sri Ramakrishna was not himself as Ramakrishna. He became merged with the boatman's personality and he felt the oneness with that boatman. So when the other man was beaten, the boatman was beaten, he felt that he was beaten. He felt the pain. There's a beautiful word in English that's called empathy. Empathy is different from sympathy. Sympathy is when you feel karuna, compassion on somebody else suffering. So, oh, this person is suffering, what I can do for him? Okay, let me give 2 annas and then let him go. Like that you feel sympathy. Empathy is the pain that he is feeling, the same pain you are also having. That pain in karma, law of karma, that is a beautiful way of telling it. The secret of law of karma is that how the karma's phala, the result of karma, comes to you. Say if I beat somebody, somebody will beat me. In a simple way we put it. It's not like that. There is a depth in that. The depth of understanding is, if I beat somebody, what is the intensity of his suffering? Accordingly, I will get the suffering. I will get the result later. Not because he just beat me that I am also getting beaten. Not like that. So in Mahabharata one story comes, beautiful story. One rishi was there. When he goes into samadhi, naturally he forgets his body. He was like a wood sitting there. Nobody knows when he will come back from samadhi. So he was in samadhi. At that time, near his ashram, there was a pond where on that day the queen has come to take bath. She put her 2 balas, not 2 bangles, outside, and she has gone with her sakhis, with her friends, to take bath in the pond. At that time, 2 fellows came, thieves, and they took that gold balas and they started running in their horses. So the queen has got her own sena, what do you call it? Guards, yes, guardmen. So the guardmen saw that this fellow is thieving him. So they followed him. This thief felt, so if these fellows catches, then the only that is mrityu danda is there. That means the death only is the punishment for us. So what they did, they threw the gold bangle and it fell near the rishi. And the rishi is in great meditation, in samadhi. He doesn't know what has happened. When these fellows came and found, that is the guards came and found the 2 bangles, they were happy, they took it. At least queen's things got recovered. But then they felt, this fellow is the thief. So he is now acting like a rishi. So they pushed him. And he's not getting up because he's in samadhi. So they took him, whole thing, they took him, put him on the horse and took him back to the king. It was a dead night. And the king was there in his room with his wife. And the minister went and told, the thief has been caught and your bangles are also be recovered. King said, put him early sunrise time, he should be killed. How he should be killed? Put him in the junction of the streets. 4 streets are coming together, junction. In the center, there is a pole is there, and the pole is called Trishul. In the Trishul pole, you put him there. So that is the punishment. So by sunrise he will die. So the rishi was taken in the midnight, and over the Trishul pole he was made to sit. That is, he was just dropped there. And the Trishul went through his buttocks. And you see now, that rishi is in samadhi, he didn't know anything. And slowly, when the blood started oozing out, his samadhi was disturbed. And then slowly his mind came to the body. And he found terrible pain. He looked here and there, and he found that sun is about to come. At that time he looked, and he is sitting on a trishul. He said, what is that? I was in the ashram. I am kept on a trishul, and everywhere blood is running. And extreme pain. He could see. At that time, the king had come. When the king came, he was stunned, because that was his guru. He thought something bad, something has happened. My guru cannot be a thief, but some misarrangement has been done. So let me inquire. Then the guru looks at him, because he is his disciple. And he looks at the king and smiles. And then the king says, oh Gurudeva, please excuse me. I think some misunderstanding is there. Our gods brought you instead of the correct thief, I think. So, please excuse me. Then give me whatever curse you want to give, because I have done a mistake. The Guru said, no, you have not done the mistake. This trouble has come to me because of my own karma. You are only an instrument to give me this punishment. I have done something in my life. I am thinking now, from childhood, what I did, I have not done anything bad karma. Why this bad suffering has come to me? You are not able to answer that because I am born before you. So, only one person can answer this, that is the Lord Yama, the Lord of Death. Let me go to Yama. So by his tapobal, by the power of his, strength of his tapas, penance, he just went with the Trishul. He went to the Yamaloka. And in Yamaloka, the gods stopped him. They said, you can't enter. He said, why I can't enter? Because here only those who left their bodies on the earth, they can enter. You can't enter because you have come with this physical body. So you are not allowed to enter here. Then he said, okay, call Yama. I want to talk to him. So Yama comes. And when he sees the Rishi, he bows down. And then he says, oh Rishi, what has happened? Why you have remembered me? And why you have come along with the body? You should not come here. He says, no, I have one question to you. Only you know this answer. Why I got this suffering? Tell me. Then Yama calls Chitragupta, his assistant, who writes all the details. Then Chitragupta comes with this very big book. He's got a red book and he opens it and reads. The page is entirely empty except one sentence. Only one sentence is there in his page. He said, what is that? That is the minus activities. All the good activities, the pages are full. But the minus activities, only one. What is the sentence? At the age of 2, when he was a baby, he was taken by his mother to a garden where a grasshopper was moving around near the baby. And the baby plucked the grasshopper by his left hand. And there was a small stick lying there in the grass. He took it and pushed it through below as a play. Now, when Chitragupta read out that, Yama said, oh Rishi, punishment is, that is what you got. The Trishul went pierced through you. It is because you did that. Then Rishi asked him a question. It's a beautiful question, you see. He says, I can understand if a person does a karma with the knowledge of what he is doing, what bad it is. But a 2 years old child, what does it know? It doesn't know the good and bad. It doesn't know the morality. It doesn't know the ethics. Nothing is known to it. It only plays and cries for mother's milk. In that age, if I have done a mistake, should you not take into consideration and give me lesser punishment? Then Yama explains to him the secret of karma phala. This we never speak about that in many of the places. Nobody tells about the secret. Karma phala comes to you not according to the action you have done, but the action you did to another. What is the intensity of the suffering? Accordingly, the same intensity of suffering you will have. Is it not? He says that small grasshopper had a small intelligence. It knows how to fly. It knows where to sit and it knows where to take its food. That much only brain was there. In that smallest amount of brain, minimalist amount of brain, it had felt 100% suffering when you put that. So as a human being, in your and as a rishi, 100% suffering has to come to you. So if I beat somebody and he says, oh, it's nothing. He doesn't feel much of that and he just poo-pooes. Then the suffering, the result that you are getting is not much. So intensity of the suffering of the recipient must be seen. Accordingly, that's why you find some of the worst suffering comes. At that time also some people are very happy. They don't think it's a suffering. Why? Because their mind is so much advanced and they think it is not a very much to be thought of. So they just say, okay, it's all right. Like that they say. Because there, what the result, what karma that brought this result, that when they did it in the past, either in this life or previous life, that result was according to the intensity of the recipient. So the recipient has not taken much credibility to that karma, then you are also not going to get much suffering, because your mind also is not affected. So when that intensity of the suffering has to be understood. That is what the Yama told you. This is the secret of Karma Yoga. So you find that accordingly the person who is suffering, what is the intensity of his suffering, accordingly the phala also comes to you. So this is a very good, this one. So after this, we see that Sri Ramakrishna's boat came to Kaila Ghat. So Kaila Ghat is the place where the boat stopped. So many passengers got down. Sri Ramakrishna also got down. We must understand this. This chapter starts with the boat cruise of Sri Ramakrishna with Keshav Sen. So Keshav Sen has arranged. Now from there he has to go back to the place Dakshineshwar. But on the way, he wants to go to Surendra's house and meet Surendra and go away. Because it comes on the way, so let me stop. So he stopped there. And Surendra's place he stopped and the carriage stopped there. But the carriage has to be given some fare. If Surendra was there, he would have given, But he was not there, but the ladies were there. So Sri Ramakrishna says, go and tell the ladies. They know that he gives the fare. So they will give the fare. So anyway, the fare was given. And then he sits there and takes something from the ladies. And then Surendra did not come till. But in Surendra's house, Narayan was called. Narayan's house also was nearby. So he was called. So Narayan also comes. The moment Narayan came, Ramakrishna was talking joyously with the devotees. When Narayan arrived, the master was doubly happy. Doubly happy. Have you used this term? Doubly happy. That means the happiness has doubled. So much of his happiness seeing Narendra. So he was so fond of Narendra, you see. And Narendra has come. And he is telling him how the boat trip went off well. Like that he is telling him. And then Narendra said, okay. And Surendra did not return. But master had to leave for the Dakshineshwar. So another carriage was brought and Sri Ramakrishna left. So it's a beautiful passage. In this passage, in the end, what I like here, the Yam has noted down these things as a point only in his lifetime. And the moment he comes back from Ramakrishna, in the night he would sit and write down the diary. After several years, he sat in meditation of each incident and then wrote in description. And that description, how Yam has remembered, it was moonlit night and Sri Ramakrishna was sitting in the carriage and he was enjoying the beautiful European buildings on the way. When you go to Calcutta, Red Road. So you go there and the European buildings you can see. And Europeans were all staying at that time. It's the capital of India, you see. Europeans were there. And European buildings were there. And Sri Ramakrishna was enjoying that. And in the buildings, because moonlit night, quite silent, not much of traffic. So Sri Ramakrishna could listen to the European ladies playing piano also. All these things, he has so beautifully he has put it down. And he says, give me water. So where is the water? Suddenly they found the India Club. Near India Club came. So one of the devotees went and brought water. So he asked him, did you wash the glass? He said, yes, we washed it. So when you give to holy men, you must see that these things are washed and given. So that is how it is arranged. So Yam has noted that also. As the carriage went along, the master put his head out of the window and looked with childlike enjoyment. What did he look at? He looked at the people, the vehicles, the horses and the streets, all flooded with moonlight. Such a beautiful expression, you see. As if when you read it, you are taken to Dakshineshwar and you are actually traveling with Sri Ramakrishna. That is a beautiful way our Yam, that is Mahendranath Gupta, writes. Okay, we shall see again. Om Niranjanam Nityam Anantarupam Bhaktanukampa Drita Vigraham Vai Ishavataram Parameshamidhyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namamaha. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tatsat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.